Hey everybody, it's free-to-play Bust with Expedition number 194. Let's get to it. What do we got here? Nothing too big and exciting. I think we can easily skip on this Garen. I don't really like any of the Garens. The Demacian Steel Pool is fine if you're wanting to draft elites. That's not something we actually do with Garen. Otherwise, this Crimson Guard is kind of a self-damage pool. It can support some other ones pretty good with the ability to give things tough, give things barriers. A lot of good cards live in this Crimson Guard pool. It's just not one that we really want to be building around. So that leaves us with either Draven or Diana. Both of these are pretty powerful pulls. I think I'm going to go with the Diana here. There's a lot of options that we can explore. Nothing has really changed with Draven since the release of Call of the Mountain, and so there's still things we have to explore with Diana, but both of these are extremely good card pools. This isn't like the best start to Draven, but it is fine. You're probably going to be pushed towards spiders starting with an Arachnoid Host, but it's not really enough to say, hey, I have to draft spiders. You can really just draft any kind of go wide aggro deck with Draven or something that can take advantage of his spinning axe discards. There's lots and lots of things we could do with Draven. But here, we're going to be looking to take this Luminous Dusk Diana. This pairs up with Nocturne and is meant to be a Nightfall deck, but let's take a moment and pull it up on the site and talk about it a little bit more. Yeah, okay, if you're not familiar with the sites, ftpbus.com, I'm going to have the tier list updated here in the next day or two. I don't know if I'll get to it today or get to it tomorrow, but it'll be up in the next couple of days to be up to date with the 114 patch. I don't plan on making edits on the smaller patches anymore. Just not enough changes to really warrant updating it. But with the big patches that come out, they do. And so we'll have this updated in the next couple days or so. But here we're over on the Expedition Helper section. We're just going to go to the little drop down. We're going to click on Diana and Luminous Dusk and see what we have going on here. So if we're actually just looking to build around Diana, there's a couple things that she has going for her. The first one is that she has incredibly good early game curves between Gift Giver, the Duskbringer, and Spacey Sketcher at 1, Diana herself, the Shadestalker, and the Mountain Goat at 2, and then at the 3-drop slot there is the Crescent Guardian. And so just a fantastic selection of units for the first 3 turns of the game. But as far as units go, there aren't really any good units beyond that. There is, Cygnus at the Epic, but, beyond him, the only other actual unit in the card pool is Stargazer. And so it is, a very, very, very early game centric card pool. And then kind of the other thing with it is the only good spell it has in it is Pale Cascade. This is an extremely good spell. This is arguably the best combat trick in the game, but she doesn't have anything beyond this. There's no way to directly interact with our opponent's units. There's no removal spells. There's no way to give our guys Challenger. There's no way to give our opponents Vulnerable. It's basically Diana or bust as far as selectively interacting with our opponent's units. And so as far as this pool goes, we're going to look to be pairing it with something aggressive. You can skew kind of more mid-rangey if you pair it up with Nocturne or any of the Shadow Isles champions, so you can really push forward with the Nightfall theme out of the Shadow Isles. That's where you're going to find Doom Beast, and it's where you'll also find whatever the thing is that draws cards. The thing that draws a unit and makes an ephemeral copy. That stuff lives in Shadow Isles, and they're kind of key to the Nightfall decks, but we don't have to, specifically play Nightfall with this. This also lends a lot of credence to just like discard strategies if we're, paired up with, say, like a Jinx, generating all these gems between Gift Giver and Mountain Goat. There's a lot we can do with those, or, even switch back and pair them up with that with that Draven we saw opposite of her. But here we'll be taking Diana, and what do we have to pair this with? Interesting little set. I don't want anything to do with this Aurelian Soul. I mean, it is a good one. If you take this Aurelian Soul, you're going to be howling really hard. You have to find a Demacia champion in the next few packs to go with this set of cards. It's really weird to see the Skies Descend within otherworldly creatures, since it's a more dragon-centric card. I guess you can do stuff with Celestials, but it really lends itself to playing with dragons. And so, if you want to high roll and spike a Demacia card in the next 4 picks, then that's up to you. It's just not something I'm particularly interested in going after here. So between these other two, I'm actually really interested in this Maokai. I'm not a huge fan of building around Maokai, but this is an extremely good supporting champion. We'll talk about him in just a moment, but this card, he plays pretty well on his own in these aggro decks, just playing a unit and getting access to the sapling. Then he does have access to the Neverglade Collector and the Blighted Caretaker. And so it's just one of the all-around best aggro strategies you can really help put together here. And then with the Caretaker, starting out with a Helpless Aristocrat is a pretty big deal. So all in all, this is a pretty powerful set. The Darius down here is not horrible, but this doesn't have a whole lot of synergy with what we're going to do with Diana. Nox and Darius is a pretty reasonable card pool, but with this, it does tend to push towards two things. It either wants to be in the Noxus Overwhelm deck, to where we can kind of try to pull that off with Diana if we try to find a lot of the rare Nightfall Overwhelm dude, but it's tough to chase rares. We're really only chasing after commons here, but he does have the Overwhelm theme between the whatever 3-cost 4/3 Chariot, and then Basilisk Rider, Darius himself, Armored Elephant, and then Savage Reckoner. Just lots and lots of Overwhelms. It's a pretty powerful strategy just to pack your deck full of Overwhelms, but it really wants to be very Noxus heavy. And then it's leaning on the 5-cost or the 5-attack units matter theme here a bit with the Assessor, and just none of these units exist within Diana's pool. And so Nox and Might is a pretty good pool, but we're going to be focusing on it 100%, to where this Ancient Evil Maokai has a lot of the tools that we're looking for here, and we should also, being in Shadow Isles, see some of the other half of whatever pool this was. Wasn't Moonlit Heist, it's the other one. But we should be seeing more of this Diana pool, at least the Nocturne half of it. But as I was saying, over here on the Maokai side, make sure it was Ancient Evil and not the Sea Monsters one. Man, where we at? Maokai, Ancient Evil. So yeah, I mean, like the big thing we're looking to do with this one here is Blighted Caretaker, just one of the best interactive units in the early game, and Neverglade Collector, which is what we really just want our top end to be. If we can come together and craft one of these decks to where the extent of our top end is like 2 or 3 Neverglade Collectors, and then maybe like an Epic or maybe a Scuttlegeist, then we're pretty happy with that. That's kind of exactly how we want these decks to look. But otherwise, I mean, this has a lot of cards that we're actually interested in. Doom Beast just straight up lives here. There's the Caretaker Collector. It does have access to Crumble. It's not the the best removal spell in the world, but it does get anything, which can be very important for these decks. We generally have no issues finding units to sacrifice to these. But then beyond that, I mean, there's just some reasonable stuff. We have a lot of units to die for. Scuttlegeist, Stalking Shadows is that random card draw card I was talking about earlier. Hapless Aristocrat is just the best unit to pair up with the Blighted Caretaker. There's just lots and lots of things that we have going on here. So these will pair out pretty well. So if you take a look at the tier list, it's tough to really, if you look, the text version, you can see how much we enjoy Maokai. We talk about him being a good support champion, but if you're just looking at the image, it's really hard to see from there, because this pool is just garbage on its own. You can't really build around Maokai. You're just going to kill yourself. It's just not a good card pool on its own, but it does pair extremely well with a lot of other card pools. Like pair this up with a Callisto or with a Lucian. You can pair it up with this Diana that we saw here, and it is arguably one of the best like pool pairings that we can attach to something else. And so it gets really tough to rate on there, because I don't want you to be able to just like pull up the tier list and be like, oh, okay, well, Maokai's tier 1. I'm gonna get here and just jump in and draft this Maokai. That's not how it works at all. Like on his own, like as a Maokai build around, this is usually what we drop into like tier 4. Sometimes he pushes up into tier 3. But as far as a supporting champion card pool goes, this is just like top notch and is about as good as it gets. So we're gonna take this Maokai here, and let's see what we can get moving on. This one's kind of tough. These Luminous Dusk cards are the ones that we really want to be seeing show up, and so the best card out of these 6 is Blighted Caretaker, but we need our deck to be skewing towards these early game Nightfall units, and so we're going to go ahead and take this pool. I want to find some more Blighted Caretakers, but the problem we run into is if we start taking these Ancient Evil packs early, then we're going to be more likely to see them later. And while we do want to see them, we do want these packs showing up. We want these Diana card pools to be showing up more. The Nightfall theme is just more important to be chasing after here. So we're going to take the 2 Nightfall units to begin with. See what we get from here. Okay. This is a set down here. Eclipse Dragon just got the boost. I feel like he was arguably the best non-epic unit in the game, and he went up from 5 health to 7. It's interesting how they tend to do these things, because these cards get. I mean, I don't work for Riot. I don't know specifically. I haven't seen a dev post about it, but I'm like 99% sure they balance cards based on constructed and then try to fix it in expedition based on how frequently things show up. The big one, previously it was like Kato the Arm getting upgraded. Kato the Arm had no need to be upgraded in expedition, but he is, and he's just fantastic. And so that's what has happened to Eclipse Dragon. I felt like this was arguably, the maybe not the best, but certainly in the running for like the top 3 best non-epic units in the game, and he just got upgraded. So, I mean, these are the ones we're going to be taking. This is exactly how we want our top end to be looking. If we have an Eclipse Dragon and a Solar Priestess, maybe one more Neverglade Collector, and then everything else just super cheap, that's just ultra fantastic for us. Here, with these other ones, we don't, like, Stirred Spirits can be okay in these kind of decks. We probably pick up some ephemerals with the card draw thing. We'll have some occasional saplings with with our Maokai, and picking up something like a sapling toss, but it's not super important to pick these up. And then over here, I'm kind of interested in Vengeance, but this Risen Mist is not going to be good in our deck. We're just not going to be in this this Mist Wraith deck. But down here, back to the good set. We're going to go ahead and pick those up. And cool. Very powerful set down here with the Solari Soldier. We don't need to pick up like a whole lot of these 4-drops, but it's not horrible to have one. And so out of these, it's arguable whether or not like Gift Giver is better than the Soldier in this deck, but picking up the White Flame Protector is giving us an extremely playable card compared to this Guiding Touch. So we're going to pick up these good statted units down here. All right. This is awkward. We don't want these Ionia cards. We aren't trying to do anything with these. This is tough. I think we're going to go for the Brood Awakening Hapless Aristocrat. Brood Awakening doesn't play like super well in this kind of deck, but it should be okay. It's going to be better than Messenger Sigil. I just think this card is completely unplayable. And so let's go ahead and pick up the Aristocrat. He is kind of the top-notch 1-drop. We don't have any Blighted Caretakers, but he's the best Blighted Caretakerable unit in the game. And so it's a pretty reasonable set. Okay. Here, this one's close. I saw the Solari Soldier Ravoon and was just like, this is what we want. And then I came down here and saw the Caretaker and Atrocity and was like, well, maybe not so fast. Because I'm really interested in having Atrocity in this kind of deck. And so I think, we're already looking pretty good on our top end. Our curve is also looking pretty good. And so I think we need to just go for the raw power here in the Caretaker and the Atrocity. Okay. All right. And here, unit-wise, the Soldier Protector are better than anything else going on here. This has been a lot of Solari Soldiers in this run. This is an extremely good unit, but I want to pick up the Vengeance. We need to get through this run with one real removal spell, and I believe this is the second Vengeance that we've seen, but we're going to feel real bad if we let this go and then get to the end of the run without having a good removal. So I want to go ahead and pick it up while we can. Okay, these cards are not particularly good. I shouldn't say they aren't good. It's just, there's a Gift Giver Aristocrat with a pretty mediocre card in the Fading Memory Sapling Toss, and then I'm like moderately interested in Sunblessed Vigor. I don't really like it, but we do need some kind of interaction because we've only got the one Pale Cascade. I think we'll just kind of hope we find more Cascades and let this go. because I really don't want any more White Flame Protectors. Like, I'll accept a second one. We've had a lot of packs that do have the Protector in it, and if we pick it up, it's kind of whatever. But I don't want to go out of my way to find these. I think we're just looking to pick up more 1-drops. And it's actually pretty close, but I think we're going to take the Aristocrat and the Sapling Toss just to have a way to pick up a little bit more interaction. And then if we get another Blighted Caretaker, we'll be pretty happy that we have additional Aristocrats. And speaking of it, I think I'm pretty cool to go ahead and pick this one up. We got our 1 Vengeance. That's all we need. Sunburst and Vengeance are essentially the same card. The Zeebles are good, and they play pretty well in this kind of deck. But I want to pick up these Caretakers while they've shown up. The Rekindler is okay. He can pick up a Diana. Getting Dianas down again is not something to be upset about. Okay, which one are you? Oh, you're trash. Okay, it's the Behold card, sure. Here we want this Dustbringer Doom Beast. We do need to, we've passed on a lot of these Solari soldiers, but we do need to get some amount of Nightfall units into our deck. We're pretty low on our Nightfall count as it stands. We haven't seen any dogs. We haven't seen any of the Overwhelm. I think we may have seen one Doom Beast besides this, and so we have a lot of the supporting cast, but we don't have the real meat to the deck now. And so I want to pick up these Nightfalls wherever we can throughout this run. This one's pretty interesting here. They just added Zenith Blade to it. They did actually just add it to Dragon's Descent. I would love to have the Zenith Blade here, but it's kind of rough just having one. It's like having one does warrant this 42 number up here with the LOR Guardian puts out, but like the second and the third one are just so extremely powerful. If I'd known we were going to see this like Atrocity Grasp pack later on, I would have probably skipped on the one earlier. But here, these cards are too bad. I think we're stuck taking this Guiding Touch Zenith Blade. Hopefully we'll find another blade before this is over. Oh man, and there's one. We're letting this go. we have to take the Nightfall with the Pale Cascade. These cards are just too good. Okay. All right. Well, here's a Rasa. That's how you kind of want this top end to look. We don't really need this top end though. But these other cards are so bad. That's where this gets awkward. We aren't a Ruination deck. We don't want this. I think what we tend to find with these decks, though, is we just never... The game just doesn't make it to turn 8. And when it does, like what tends to happen is, we make some kind of like huge attack and then we have to play Rasa afterwards. There's just no way to like take advantage of her before we attack. It has to be this weird situation where like our opponent attacks and then we block and then play Rasa and get it open the next turn. She's extremely good, just not in this style of deck. And so I think I'm going to take the Stomper and the White Flame Protector down here. We already have plenty of top end going on. Okay, all right. I think we'd have to just take our second Collector. These are just too good to let go. This is like, I immediately saw this one. I was like, okay, all right. Here's our way to pick up more Nightfalls, but the Collector's too good. So let's pick him up. I mean, this came together pretty decently. So yeah, we just need to just kind of like shift some of these mediocre cards into Nightfall units, and I think we'll be pretty set. Our top end looks good. We got our one removal spell. Our curve looks really good. It's just a matter of kind of upgrading into Nightfalls. Okay, that's a start. I'm even kind of tempted to keep this Protector. Let's do this. Let's get rid of Aristocrat. We only want one. Maybe we do want two since we've got Diana. We're on the odd attacks. I think we can just keep this whole thing.
Lady Elise, where are you?
Got him. Getting them good on the first turn. This is weird. This is kind of shadows and dust kind of thing. I wonder if he's going to have any of the ephemeral stuff. That's weird for a Thresh, but... Okay.
What's that noise?
Let's see if it's too obvious with this Diana here.
What would you wish to learn?
Cold and unforgiving.
I'm just gonna try to get it off the board. She's not like super good in this deck, and so if she gets a combat trick out of this, I'm pretty okay with it.
The final lesson.
4/3 Zed's a little annoying here if that's what his play is, but he only has one copy in his deck, so it's kind of hard to have Zed here.
Tales of our past are seeds for our future.
This feels like an awful weak sapling toss, but I mean, like, we can sapling toss and then just play Zenith Blade next turn, right? Because if he plays a card, then we can just hook it. Now I want to turn this thing into a real unit. Kind of spread the love between Diana and the Protector here. See, right now if he just plays like he wants to play like a Jeweled Protector or something here, then we could just hook it. Rude Awakening is kind of awkward, but it's not the end of the world. We can't Doom Beast. Like, we'll play him, but he's no good on this combat. Sure. All right, I think we need to just I think we just need to get these down. It's kind of awkward to play here. You want to get the surprise value out of this thing, but it's okay. We're just gonna have a full board when we go in. There's a big boy. We're certainly gonna Nightfall this.
No,
oh man, his hand is huge.
Night flowers upon my blade.
The promise of a new moon upon you, Bloom Tender.
I assume he just can't attack here. It's great for us if we get the trade. We talk about this situation kind of a bit because there's not a whole lot of games to where you can't add beyond the end of your bench. Oh, go get an Atrocity Yone. That was pretty nice for us. But right, if he's attacking and getting trades here, let's just go ahead and trade this unit out. We can't let him get 2 hits in with his thing here. Right, and we're able to refill our board, but he's not. Then it's not a very good situation for him to be in.
Bloom and fade with the morning.
Okay. I'd like to pull off another Nightfall before we get this Diana into too much trouble. See what we can pull off here. Having a second copy of Zenith Blade would have been huge here. He's going to be able to buy so much time when we can't overwhelm. Alright, well there's the Nightfall for our Diana.
Time for a leap of faith.
He got all the big boys in his hand. We can pass. He's going to at least attack with this Conspirator.
Traditions are lost if not passed on.
Any way to get out of that. But a good spot for the thing that does the damage for Nightfall.
Quietly now.
Act with caution. Strike.
It's kind of awkward. It should be obvious that something's up right here. Oh, that thing's huge. 7. Can't get in any like real good attacks into this thing. I don't know if we can if we can win through 7-11 Soul Gorgers. That's pretty tough to deal with. Let's see what we can do. We have to get it into combat with this thing. Get the rest of our team in behind it.
Think before you strike.
Close. Cloaked in silver, they tried to blind me with resplendence, but they could not break me.
It's not ideal. It's not enough to kill his unit, but we have to get something going with this. I don't think we can kill through these huge soul gorgers.
A final lesson.
Silent as
Sure.
death.
Yeah, we're not gonna win this one. Let's give it another turn. We just don't have enough big units left in our deck. Okay, we'll give it up here.
The Lunari will not live in fear.
Okay. All right. So this is cool. I don't really want to get rid of the Zenith Blade. I'm really hoping that we pick up one more. That game might have been a little bit different if we just had the one more Zenith Blade. We could have turned our Eclipse Dragon into a real unit. He did get crumbled, yes, but that's what we needed was just we couldn't clear through his board without the overwhelms. I'm pretty happy to pick up this Unspeakable Horror. Brood Awakening's no good in our deck. We don't have any combos with it. We don't have any trouble keeping a wide board. We don't want to be playing defensively, so it's not any good in that sense. Then Unspeakable Horror is just everything we're looking for. Some interaction, it's a Nightfall, some card advantage, good stuff. Oh god, fucking ads are back. Ugh. Get your toilet paper. Oh, go away. Oh man, if that keeps up, I'm gonna have to. Yep, I'm gonna have to turn off Elobar Guardian. We just do this. All right. Katarina Callista, sure. Okay, that's a reasonable start. A little worse. Sure.
We were peaceful once.
Why didn't Katarina and Callista get to be in KDA? I don't get it. This is tough. Like, I just don't think we're ever going to get better value out of this thing.
Rise.
Like, this turns out to actually be good if he's a like a Blighted Caretaker deck. They run into real problems if they don't have, you know, kind of the units to sacrifice. I just think we're gonna have a tough time finding a spot to actually use that guy.
Darkness hides my path.
She's just trimming her claws.
Fear not death.
Righty, let's get the onlooker going. Sure. Let's get him, dog.
Forgive me.
Okay, if we get caretakered here, we just lose. But otherwise, we might be okay.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
What you doing? Got something going on here. 2 mana. It seems like a glimpse beyond. Oh, Unspeakable Horror? Sure. You got it. Oh, changed your mind now? Sure. Okay, I don't see what else we'd be doing besides attacking with these white flames.
For truth.
I think we can let him flip Callista, right? We can Atrocity our next turn. Maybe we just attack with 1. She's only seen 1 die, right? Or 0 die, yeah. Okay, it feels a little safer. Sure. Maybe. I think that's fine. Oh, he was just gonna flip her anyways. That's okay. Okay, but at least he doesn't have a value unit coming out of this. It's not like he has a Wraith Collar coming out of his Callista, so we're gonna take a hit, but it's not the end of the world. Well, we actually want to just... Nope, we have to do it like this. This can't go wrong. If he has like a Whirling Death, then we just lose here, but... Oh man, this is not how that works. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. Guess we should have waited till after combat for that one.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
I guess you live and you learn.
Let's get those choice cuts.
Sure. Alright, so we're kind of really need either the Solari Priestess or a Eclipse Dragon.
There you are. That egg.
Sure.
Did it move?
Is generated? Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll generate an Eclipse Dragon with the Unspeakable Horror. It'd be pretty sick, right?
So many years,
Sure.
so much misery.
Okay, well, that's what we're needing here. We gotta get some big invokes. Make up for us not killing this Callista. Okay, we're doing things.
Who disturbs me?
Where are we at? Neg 1. So we gotta block 1 more. Can't block Callista, we can block this thing. Would you rather just take 1 and put damage here?
No, 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 no.
It's okay. Keeps us out of Unspeakable Horror range, and we still just data any combat trick. There's no way we just don't data combat tricks though, so I think that's okay.
Another day in paradise.
Sure.
We right this wrong.
Okay. Well, if there's ever a way to come back, it's with Living Legends. So let's see what we can pull off with that one. Vengeance? We could probably do that right this time. Alright. You cause 0.
When others threaten, we must take action.
Obliterate enemies with 3 or less power, so we can't hit Callista. We didn't hit the Nightfall. You don't have Nightfall, do you? can drop him with Moon Silver, though. I think that's what looked good. He just spent his vengeance last turn, so if he has another vengeance for us, then I guess it kind of is what it is. Okay. Let's do this. That seems pretty suspect what he was doing there.
It's our time.
Like, why is he just putting damage on the Scourge right at the beginning of combat? That seems very strange to me.
We will be free.
Okay, all right.
Never play fair.
Fall to 1. Okay. We gotta survive a turn.
Might hurt.
And the guiding touch. Oh boys, we're back in. Oh come on, what a draw. So I think our saving grace here is he doesn't have the mana to replay Katarina. Can we? What happens here? We just have to vengeance Callista, right? We can't actually kill him with the Scourge. Well, no, hang on, that's not true. We can vengeance Katarina. He attacks with Callista. We put the Scourge in front of Callista. Then the Scourge kills whatever comes out, and we have to block the Rekindler with the Priestess. Okay, I don't like it, but
I'm not done.
let's take 1. Doesn't have Overwhelm himself.
That light flickers.
I know your true heart.
Okay.
Silver light.
Alrighty. What do we have to get out of this now? Diana? Okay.
They tried to blind me with resplendence, but they could not break me.
Gonna lose our Scourge. We can't do anything about that.
Find your own light within the darkness.
Oh, we think we messed this up a little bit. I should have dust pedaled down Diana so we saved a mana. But we want to go ahead and draw a unit now, so we could try to just get more of his stuff off the board.
Discipline
Okay.
and conviction.
Night descends. Face your heretic.
All right. This is how you stay in it. Oh, cool! And he's trading out units. That's beautiful for us.
Warriors in.
All right. Granted, we survive. I think we're good to go. If we draw a unit next turn, then that should be pretty easy. Between the caretaker, or we can just open. He didn't play his card. Let's just rekindle.
We burn, then kindle anew.
Yep. Good deal. That's why we didn't want to wait. We didn't want to wait and just get into combat.
To the light.
can try to lethal here. If we Caretaker down the Rekindler, then we'll have 4, or this is 6, 7, 8, 9. Should probably just go for it, right? If he's holding on to like a 1 damage card, then that's really unfortunate for us, but...
I cannot turn back.
Alright, alright. In it to win it, boys. Nice. You all thought we were going to lose, didn't you?
Heretic rang true.
Okay, we're taking Ross's. You can technically switch over to Nocturne, or taking Ross's. I think that's one we're going to be taking. These cards with Nocturne are pretty good. His flip is pretty astounding as well, and his cards are pretty good here. Can we ever get this to flip though? It's like Diana's a lot easier to activate just playing in Nightfall, whereas Nocturne has to actually have them all attack. I think we just want to stack Diana's here. Our top end is good. We're picking up a Rasa. Yeah, but Nightfall. I think this is good. This is really close though. Her flip is Pale Cascade as well, so it's just I do love having access to the additional flip cards. It just smooths out your draws, right? I used to talk about this a lot more, but it was like when you're you know, drawing out your hand. If you draw all units, you can win the game. If you draw all spells, you're probably just going to lose the game. But you know, you're really looking for a mix of units and spells, and that's what the champion stack really helps you do.
Where's my axe?
All right, well, you don't have to interact with this thing. Can't Caretaker it for a while though. Can't play this Diana either. Okay. Well, we'll just trade.
I'll do better this time.
Like, given the makeup of our hand, I feel like we're probably good to just we're going to be the control in this matchup. We're not going to be the aggro. I mean, he played, you know, Legion Grenadier or Legion Rearguard, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's just some kind of big aggro deck. But we just need time with these cards, and so I think we're good to just kind of toss him out at that point.
Bless the faithful and sear the
Fine, bro.
Devotion to battle.
Don't be calling no enforcers.
Warriors in.
Would have loved to have had that hapless aristocrat this game. Just didn't make an appearance. Okay. Don't feel like we need written in the stars here. We already have the one Diana, but she is very good when she has the +2/+2. I think we're good to just pick the Traveler. We're gonna keep being on this idea that that we're just gonna be kind of like the slow control-y deck here. I think this is what we're gonna want.
Let my stars guide all travelers onward.
So this seems reasonable. Like, we were in a spot where we didn't really want to be adding Diana by a Caretaker. They just weren't doing anything. But we're in a good place to, once we've gotten a little bit more time to just kind of develop this board, we're gonna have a big takedown turn on our next attack.
Reporting in. Lady Elise, where are you?
Not at all.
No stone unturned.
Okay.
Reconsider.
But whatever your card is, we'll accept it. Sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our point of damage onto Jinx. We're definitely gonna 1-2 attack Hooker next turn. I don't feel like this adds, too much to it to where our opponent's gonna like not protect his Jinx. He doesn't want her just sitting around with 1 health. I'm gonna go ahead and sapling toss. All right.
Oh, fresh soil.
Okay, I have to assume he's just not gonna play any units now. We'll be able to get the Shadestalker down. Oh, that's awesome.
My saplings.
You must be scared.
Devotion through battle.
Spending your removal spells on a random 2/1. Oh, hang on. Damn it. I meant to play the Shadestalker. I got distracted. Okay. Nice card, Grifter. Man. He's falling out on the card advantage here. He's just going to try to dump out his hand. So let's get the Shadestalker down. We meant to play it and didn't. And then we're just going to have to vengeance this Jinx at our first opportunity. Pretty tough for him to get her to flip right here in this spot.
The answer is
That's a way to try to do it. Well, vengeance. I don't feel the need to Pale Cascade this. We'll get a better one at some point.
what science without a little risk?
Yeah, and he had a beam in there too. Cool.
Invisible to the ignorant.
All right, so I mean this has us lined up well. We can either try to Rasa him next turn, or we can do the Warrior Diana and Pale Cascade. We got a lot of tools here.
Experiments.
I've brought my books. Hope that's all right.
Dusk approaches.
They tried to blind me with resplendence, but they could not break me.
All right, it's a pretty good board to have. We're in a pretty good spot. Whatever the bait is with this ballista, I'll take it.
I cannot turn back. I will be heard.
My spirit shines.
Get this in. I'm okay with seeing whatever this academic could do if he gets a block on Priestess. If he has a way to draw a card or they just bounce, I'm okay with either one. Okay. Cool. Seems pretty good for us. Pretty good.
Success gets you noticed around here.
Okay. Let's add our units so we can Nightfall this Pale Cascade. Probably not going to do it. Well, yeah, I don't think we need to.
Before us, the living cavalcade.
Okay, what I was gonna say, whatever that card is, we can just hook it with Diana. Cool.
The words of the heretic rang true.
what do we got now? Interesting. I'm cool to get rid of the sapling toss. I'm cool to get rid of the guiding touch as well. But I think the guardian for the toss is a bigger upgrade than the horror for the guiding touch. Where we at? I wanted to see our blighted caretaker count. I want to keep all of our aristocrats. It's just too important with the caretaker. So let's pick up the crescent. I think that's fine. Yeah, we've been pulling off what I wanted to do here. I liked our curve. I liked our removal. I just wanted to upgrade into some Nightfall cards, and so take out some of these low to medium quality things and put in higher quality Nightfall cards. Pretty good. Happy with it. Okay. Don't think we want the onlooker. List of Thresh. No, since we found Diana, we do want it now. That's okay.
Lady Elise, where are you? No.
Okay. Uh-oh. So he got his caretaker? He's playing the Callista. Sure. Okay. All right. Interesting. Again, I don't think we need written in the stars. Can click on his deck. What was this? This was Thresh Callista. Meteor Shower could be reasonable. I worry about the Golden Sisters. This feels like the kind of matchup where she only gets like one hit in. There's just a lot of units that can interact well with her. Okay. We're doing that. And we don't have a caretaker, so I think we're good to just block with this thing. We want to be blocking here. We got to get the damage on this thing so we can try to kill it with Diana next turn. Okay.
Invisible to the
Now we do have the caretaker. That's fine. Wraith color, sure. Oh, did we mess that up? Oh man, I thought we had 2 spell mana. I forgot we spent that spell mana on the 1 damage thing. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, I think we're okay. But that was certainly not that was not the plan. Oops. Those are the ones where when you're recording the videos, you just kind of want to take back. Don't let people see it. That's fine. That's not a big deal. So as it stands, I think this is okay. We'll let this happen, then we're going to meteor shower this Thresh after combat. And all his good units are gonna have 2 attacks, so we should be able to, next turn, let me recount here, we're gonna have 6 mana. We got 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Sounds like the mathematics there work out.
Believe or burn.
Thresh doesn't flip, right? You're gonna see 1, 2, 3 units die? Okay. Are we okay with just letting this thing live? He still has 2 pretty high. He would only have like 1 unit we actually care about. But the problem is if we let like these live, we can't like Protector Diana and then just take as one good unit because our Protector doesn't do anything then. This could be a little risky, but I think this is okay. Like, what's the worst that happens? He plays like a Chronicler of Ruin to cycle a Wraithcaller. Like, I don't care about that.
That egg, did it move?
There's Callista. We do care about that. But I don't think there's a lot we can do about it at this point.
There you are!
Dusk approaches.
So, we do have to let this thing live. We can't have Callista bringing back Wraithcallers. So, our attack's gonna look like this.
No more lies.
Not you, anything but you. Okay. Okay.
To all betrayers!
Probably a mistake. Now that I saw that combat end, I probably should have just left him with the spider. Sure. So that this wouldn't have flipped until after his next combat. Okay.
We burn, then
Oh,
kindle
boy.
anew.
Boy. If you've done the mathematics on this one, this is not good. It's certainly not good.
You have to get me out of here! Please, I have connection!
This one's done. He's got to that Callista loop that we just can't deal with. Let that one go. Okay. We just have the one atrocity, right? I know we saw two in the draft and we just let one go. Yeah, we just want to keep our one. Pretty cool to trade out these White Flame Protectors for Doom Beasts. Again, just keep pushing up our Nightfall count. Oof. I think we were getting close. We're just trading them back and forth here, but I think our deck is pretty close to just being something that just runs straight through to the end. Probably lose after I make comments like that, but this is a pretty reasonable deck. It's pretty good. Here's my teammate. This is what we needed this run. Come on, bud. Yep. There we go. Alright, we're ready now. Lots of activity in the house today. It's been having a lot of kitty things to go pay attention to. The game break. What's up with this riot? We get paired against the Poro bot at at the 2-win stage of the run. Something must have broke. Let's push cancel. Oh. What the hell? Are we having matchmaking problems? There we go. Alright, Tarek Trundle. Right. I don't think we need to keep all of that. I think this is probably reasonable. Didn't want Eclipse Dragon. I'll take the one drop back. Okay, there's that combo at least.
That egg, did it move?
And then with these, we're not really good at being like super aggro with these decks. I guess when you pick up the onlooker here, you can change your tune as far as that goes. But a lot of times with these Nightfall decks, especially if you've played this and constructed, the thing that you'll find is a lot of times you're really cool with just passing on turn 2 to bank that 2 spell mana to spend on Pale Cascades and to spend on Unspeakable Horrors. Okay. See if we get trundled here. Trundle would be very very good for him, but if he doesn't have it, then we're just so far ahead. I'm gonna where are we at? 2, 4, 6, 7. We could hit him for 9 with Pale Cascade. 10, 11 up to Doom Beast. I think we just want to take the damage route. He can keep his. Does that put him at 5? We can pretty reasonably have a Pale Cascade on our next attack. Feels kind of spewy to do it now. Okay. I think it's okay to let him have this. The thing that scares me about letting him keep this Weirding Stones is if he has like a second Trundle in his hand and he's able to Trundle Quake. That would be an 8 mana sized problem here, but
Bow to your king.
I think we're even okay if he does.
I'm ready to shine.
Night flowers upon my blade.
Avalanche is kind of scary too. We've kind of gotten a little bit all in here. Okay, we can deal with the healing. Okay, let's get these little to big attacks in. I don't think it super matters against what we're up against, but should be in a pretty reasonable spot here.
Temperamental as moonlight.
Okay, let's see if this is a mistake. I feel like if he had a Harsh Winds, he would have just played it. But this does help us, if he has another heal 2 thing that we can still kill with Doom Beast. It's pretty scary to not let that attack go through with without hitting the Pale Cascade. Sure. Alright, we're still wide enough to deal with this, but it's getting kind of scary. This is certainly a deck that can turn the corner here. Sure. There we go. That's what we needed.
To protect all. Unyielding.
We're just gonna. What's the chance he's just gonna Battle Fury us? We have to block Trundle in case he has Battle Fury. As far as these other ones go, probably needed to look like this. I think we just have to block everything, right? We're just gonna try to win with the Collector.
Give them a chance!
Okay. Oh, he can't battle Fury. He only has 7 mana. That's okay. It seems like he's certainly lining up something with Tarek. Harsh Winds is perfect for us. Okay.
They'll see me sooner or later.
But from every fallen, a new seed. What's that noise?
Alright, that should be good enough. It's a big open. We still have this Doom Beast if
I must get out of here.
if we should need it. Come on, bud. Yeah.
They look angry.
Uh-oh, he's doing stuff. Okay. This dude's had all the harsh winds this game. I think we should be okay though. I don't. Well, he could still have another one of those lifesteal cards, but I think this is gonna be fine. Could have another guiding touch. I was trying to say. Okay, cool. Good game, friend. Whew. Yeah, I might get the full 13 this run. So let's see. It's a fairly weak Diana. Look at all these cards down here with Nocturne. Priestess and a Guardian. Oh, that's tough. I think we have to give up on our Diana stack. I think these cards are just too good. Take these. Alright. Maybe we'll get to trade away that Maokai at some point and then it'll fix itself. Sometimes you do get the champion trades in here. Go away. Go ads go away. Ugh. This matchmaking is taking forever today. If they have matchmaking problems. All right. On the odd, we've been on the even attacks like every time this game, and it's been awkward for our caretakers. But this is fine. Doom Beast is like a 6-drop, 7-drop. It's not something you ever really want to be keeping in your opener. Okay, but I mean, we have been getting this big chunk in every time though. For putting us on turn 2, it's letting us have the soldier onlooker start.
I'm something of an aspiring trichologist.
Devotion to battle.
Alright, it's a big damage start. Do nothing. You just got all the 4 and the 5 cost dragons. Oh, he's got Diana.
Is an act of passion.
Any
Okay.
act of heresy
She's gonna get a unit.
No more lies. I will be heard.
Really? Okay.
The guilty will burn.
Just gonna trying to line it up so he has unspeakable horror. Don't do that. That's
Night flowers upon my blade.
call that just being a little bit too cute, if that's what the ideal was, is to line up Unspeakable Horror. Let's do this. Let's do Diana first. There's a world where we can get him to play us another unit that we might be able to hook with the Caretaker. It's not super likely, but let's take the chance to do it while we can. This out of here. We're not playing Caretaker this turn anymore. Just go ahead and Zenith Blade Diana. I don't feel like we're gonna get a better one. Get that chip damage in there.
I cannot turn back.
It feels like this is not a great spot to be in. His top end is going to be way better than ours. I wish we were a little bit farther ahead. We're going to be counting a lot on Cygnus to put in a big thing of chunk damage. Yep, as expected. I think we have to bank. It's not good. Okay, at least go about it this way. Let's kill this thing off. There's a world where we heal a point of damage from the sky. We just need to get we have to get a big chunk of damage in here, and then try to kill him with Cygnus next turn. I think that's just our only way to go about winning this one.
Unseen, unheard.
We're chunking it in. We're certainly not. We're not playing for value here. We're not. This is just lethal, isn't it?
Night descends.
Punish transgressors.
He's got something. He's gonna like single combat or something into us. Tane, sure. But you know, we just have to get this huge chunk damage in, and then we got him to 6. That's enough to try to get a Cygnus kill in. Next turn, it's not something I'm real confident we'll be able to pull off, but we'll have some big boys trying to get in there.
Never again will we fall to dragon fire.
Let's look here. It's awkward having to play this, but we're not in a value game now. Drawing these 2 cards are fairly meaningless. He doesn't attack though. It does make me feel pretty good about our units here. We have to draw like a 1 or a 2 or a spell though. It's kind of the awkward thing. Sure.
Calm mind and open heart greet the night.
Red Nocturne. That appears to be what we're doing.
Terror is my domain.
This keeps his priestess from blocking. We'll get another health drop in with the Crescent Guardian, but I'm fine with just trying to trade him away. Stars. You can play either of those.
The dragon's rage claws to get out.
Sure. I think this is all we can bring, right? Our attacks aren't good enough here. has to block. He block it with Mountain Goat. It's awkward. Sure. Ugh. Okay, let's see how this goes. Vengeance. Probably a pretty reasonable draw. I mean, it's not huge here. We can't actually kill the unit that matters in the Firebrand, but we could deal with the Shyvana. This feels like a spot where he has to have like a single combat or something, right? Sure. So we have to block like some of this. Never just brings this thing in though without a trick. I mean, we just don't have good blockers otherwise. So let's do this. Let's at least try to take the trick. Good to just take one. Is this lethal? This isn't lethal yet. Let's wait and see what his card is. And we're planning on just vengeancing Shyvana. But he's 100% got a trick for this Firebrand, so we're gonna get to play a card. And then I was fine with this. This Crescent Guardian was never getting an Overwhelm hit in. 0% chance that happens. Right, well, we can Cygnus almost the entirety of our deck, and we have an Atrocity. So I think it's a pretty reasonable spot to be in. Alright, well, we could hit it with almost the entirety of our deck and the Cygnus. So let's do this. Let's start with the Atrocity. So we at least have the Nightfall for Cygnus, and then if he has the way out of this, then hopefully we can get our Nocturne in for enough damage. Sure. Tap out for something. Made me feel a lot better. Yeah. Oh.
Caught unaware.
You just rally? Oh shit. We can survive that though, right? No? Or no, we can block his priestess. Okay.
Come, tonight we'll bring them to
Alright,
justice.
I think we're fine. Oh shit, I forgot about Nocturne making his units all tiny. Okay, we're good. We're fine.
Speak truth.
We protect our own. No mercy for heretics.
And it feels kind of scary to try to be... I think he has 2 mana. All he can be doing is trying to single combat us, right?
Are you scared?
He could have a sharp sight. Let's say that. If he has a sharp sight, this is so bad. Okay. Right. These games are not going how I expected. You're supposed to just be in here aggro and everything. That's supposed to be a 45-minute run. We're going to get out of here early. Get ready for football tomorrow and stuff. Yeah, cool. Priestess. All right to pick that up. Is getting all the Nightfalls now that we've got this run pushed on a little bit further. Priestess works well with Nocturne. Take note. Take note. Interesting. all the Frey Lords along with Noxus. I wonder if this is the Noxcria arena pool. Here, we'll hang on to our aristocrat. A great start. The cat just sits here and makes such random noises. Okay. And this is one of these spots I'm pretty sure we want to be banking 2 mana here. So let's just get our dude in and let things move forward. Sure. Oh, goodness. Okay.
That egg, did it move?
Destruction feeds my fire.
It's awkward. How do we want to go about this, though? We're gonna keep our units. We have a caretaker. So it's not a huge problem. This kind of becomes like, do we want to go ahead and take one of these down and just play unit after combat? Okay, let's just bank. Right, and then if he tries to hit us with like Elixir of Iron or something, then we still have an answer.
Everyone's a garden.
Come. You're not going yawning today. What you got? Troll Chant? Blade's Edge? Sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll spend our horror on this now. It's not even the end of the world if he saves it with something. Take heart. That's different. That's a different way to save it. That's it's a little more problematic. Yeah, we at least have to have something that can combat this next turn. We can't just be taking these big 6 hits. We have no real follow-up if we don't try to save this unit.
All the world on one arrow.
Alright, not ideal. It's not super huge as this thing isn't buffed, but let's see what he does here. If he attacks and doesn't brittle steel beforehand.
Breathe it in.
Okay.
What's that noise?
So if he doesn't brittle steel beforehand, we need to Pale Cascade before we block, so he can't brittle steel in combat. Having that 4 attack unit can be extremely important. Okay.
Aggro follows.
We got some cards we need to burn, and this Ross is a little farther away than I like. Okay, so that'll leave you at 1. Take Ash down to 1, and then do we want to protect the our caretaker? I don't think we do at this point. Cool. Some Doom Beasts, Maokai. I'm on board. Can't be chance. He can't Sejuani. Oh Jesus, Sejuani's gonna be flipped. Hope he didn't pick up Sejuani. He's got at best a 66, at worst a 1 out of 3. If he doesn't play anything, I'd assume he just picked up Tryndamere.
What time is it?
Right, we're not gonna get like, yeah, we're just gonna get blasted. That's okay.
I give you muscles.
It's the 1. Oh. Okay. So let's see if we can get around to having a Tryndamere come down. Probably we can't deal with Tryndamere really, but might be able to punch through enough damage here. Got point of damage in his hand? Oh, Blade's Edge? Oh, come on, that card's so bad. We could have taken less damage here. Damn.
So many lost.
I mean, the other thing we could have considered doing was just playing a Doom Beast and then trying to trade Doom Beast Pale Cascade for Kato. That was kind of the thing I initially had lined up, but I just kind of felt like if the game went on, he was just going to play a Tryndamere, right? Like, I can't imagine like if he drew either Ashe or Sejuani, especially Sejuani, if he wouldn't want to play either of them there. I have to imagine that he just played Tryndamere. There's no way we're surviving a Tryndamere hit the next turn. But anyways, I'm good to get rid of Zenith Blade now. We haven't seen a second one. We're picking up a Nightfall for it. Pretty A-okay with that. Alright. To get a fresh water, things are good to go to the end now. One more game. This matchmaking takes forever. 25 seconds. Something's got to be up. Something's broken. Maybe somebody at Riot today's just sitting around, personally matchmaking me for, pairing me against all their friends, so they could be in this fantastic YouTube video. It could happen. Happens, right? Alright, Ashe Sejuani, all the Frostbites today. Yeah, I don't think... No. We can probably keep a Caretaker. I can't remember even what our count is. 3... 5, 7, 8 non-ones? Okay. That's probably good enough to draw one by the third turn. Yeah, we got some. We even got the good ones. Cool. And this guy's got the good...
What's that noise?
Got the good, what are these called? It's not a little legend in this game, right? It's something different. It's not a cat, though. You need a premium level cat. Right. Well, if he's gonna be like that, I think we're cool to just blast him for all this damage.
There you are.
I think we're gonna have a tough time finding a spot to put our Caretaker on the board. So if we can just jump in for this extra punch, we can just be off to the races. I feel a little bit better about doing this if we had like more of the quality 3 drops. We just have the 2 Doom Beasts and 2 Crescent Guardians. If we had like 3 and 3, this would feel a little bit better. Especially if dude's gonna just sit around and heal. But I'm okay with that. Like, it just kind of feels like at that stage of the game, if they haven't played like the 1 health units or the challengers, that they're just not going to, and he's just going to be in this big dude curve.
Stop us.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
Surround them.
take all this down. It's just have a lot coming back out of this, and we're just gonna get blown out by
Give them a chance.
a frostbite. That's the kind of the scary thing. Let's see what he does. I really just want to play Priestess here, but he has to be playing a Frostbite, right? At least it feels like it's the physical spell Frostbite. If he was going to play Brittle Steel, he would have snapped it off. We went through Troll Chant? No. Okay.
We will be free.
My saplings.
What do we got? These are some these are some shitty invoke units. I shouldn't say that they're shitty. They're just not what we're looking for. I think we just have to take the Trickster.
Calm mind and open heart.
We're gonna have a real tough time actually getting anything into combat from this point forward. So I think we just got to kind of be like, well, these dudes are blockers, and try to punch through with the Trickster. I'm not real happy with the state of this game. But I mean, if we can get these big chunks in and then have a Neverglade Collector just sit on the board, that's certainly a reasonable way to pull these games off.
Where are you?
It's kind of the idea of a large part of this deck. But
War, Mother Ash. The honor is ours.
okay, I'm not going to vengeance this. Like he is going to get to do this the Rhymefang Wolf hook into the Trickster. This is going to get weakened by Ash. We're gonna Pale Cascade it. I'm fine with this. And then if he has a Refrostbite for it, then whatever, you did it, boss. And let's put. I guess we want to put our 2 damage in front of Ash, and then let the Overwhelm in. We really want to be getting the unit off of this horror and playing it this turn. So at least this way, the way this would end up being the worst is if he just has another Troll Chant, right? If he can +2 health Ash, -2 attack our Trickster. Yeah, but I don't think there's really anything we can do about that.
And stars.
Okay. All right. There's a path to victory. Fucking something. Into Collector. Okay. I think we just have to play our Eclipse Dragon though. Hang on. That does cause problems with his Ash Rhymefang combo. Probably, I don't want to have to just vengeance this thing, but I think that's what we're going to have to do.
A true Freljordian welcome.
Sure. Okay, that's not the end of the world. We're doing a pretty reasonable job of, like, we haven't quite done it yet, but we're getting to the point where we can just grind it down. As long as we just don't die here. We really need to be able to vengeance this Ash is what scares me the most about this. We have to deal with so much to have to deal with. You're just dead, right? Okay. just have to vengeance this thing, right? And then Cygnus next turn. I don't think we're going to have time to do anything else. But we can probably also get a close to a full board. And I mean, if we're going to invest 6 in Cygnus against a Frostbite deck, it's kind of scary. This Rhyme Fang thing's going to weaken our dragon again anyways. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's get the 2 spell mana bank here, so that we can definitely Guiding Touch should we want to. And I think we can get... We have time here. As long as we're getting full board, I think we're okay.
Ice runs in our veins. I'll lead us to victory!
Of course, we can't also just die to Crystal Arrow. That was the risk we took trying to take down the take down that one thing. So how does this look? We're going to Warden's Prey. I think we need to save the Crescent Guardian for next turn. Well, if he Crystal Arrows this next turn, we're just going to lose anyways, right? I guess some of our units could be big enough. We just have to... We have to try to Screeching Dragon Ash. He's going to have a Frostbite, but I don't think there's any way around that. Maybe we play this thing, we play Priestess, and then we play Screeching Dragon. We got a Priestess for an... See if we hit an Obliterate. Falling Comet, there we go.
Hush, evening approaches.
Then, so this will allow us to, we can Screeching Dragon, we can try to kill his Ash, and then next turn if he wants to Crystal Arrow us, he can, but we have the Obliterate to try to take his Ash down. Oh, he's just going to Crystal Arrow now. Okay.
Let fly!
Can't say I understand why. Do we just die to an open now? There's no way, unless he just has like a Harsh Winds in his hand.
This will be a good winter.
Maybe that's it. He just has the Harsh Winds. But I'm surprised he wouldn't try to wait, let the Harsh Winds happen in combat. You just not have enough health to put in front of this stuff? No, I guess without having 2 blockers. Yeah, we're just dead.
I know your true heart.
It's too much. Damn. Yeah, I mean, we could have played that differently, but...
Shining softly.
I'm not a huge fan of, like, if, I mean, it all comes down to that vengeance, right? But it just doesn't feel like we ever win the game with that Rhinefang Wolf on the board. We had the answers to his Ash. He played that certainly very strangely there at the end, but it's awkward. Okay. Nonetheless, this came together okay. We got like a lot of awkward matchups. Oh, come on, fucking ads on my screen. Let me see if I can organize this to not have ads. Okay, that's as good as it's going to get. I don't hate this look anyway, since it puts the card somewhere in the middle of the screen. But, I mean, this deck came together well. It's kind of awkward there in the end. You know, we ran into the thing with Expeditions, you know, there's just so many decks in the format that it's tough to be good against all of them, and this deck isn't particularly good against the kind of like mid-rangey decks. It's not good against dragons. It's not good against frostbites. It's good against the opposite sides of that. It's good against the aggro decks, having access to the Blighted Caretaker Collector combo. It's extremely good against that. It's very good at being really aggressive and taking down slower control decks. It's not particularly good against the mid-rangey decks, and that's what we ran into over and over and over again this run, which is kind of awkward. we just, the way you want to end up going about beating mid-range decks is, we're going to play like a 4-drop and then win with, like, have a Pale Cascade take down their 6. And so we just don't have the tools to be doing that with this style of deck. And as you can also see, I think like we won every game where we went Solari Soldier, Onlooker, and then we lost a bunch where we didn't do that. But nonetheless, this is still a very good deck, regardless of getting stuck at 4 there. We lost to the Frostbite deck 2 games in a row, and that's what knocked us out. And that's just kind of is what it is. That deck is certainly favored against us. I know. I talk a lot of these, in a lot of these runs, we'll have an extremely good deck and we'll end up losing. And, I'll try to make the statement that, I feel like if we played this match 10 times, I feel like, we would have won at 6 or 7 against those Frostbite decks. That's certainly one of those matches to where, I feel like if we played that 10 times, we're winning that 2 or 3. And so to spike that twice in a row is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. That's the nature of the beast. And so, anyways, back to this deck here. As far as this deck goes, I'm pretty happy with how this came about. The things that you're looking for here are, there's the standard kind of. We'll just talk about the Shadow Isles real quick. There's the standard Hapless Aristocrat, Blighted Caretaker, Neverglade Collector combo. We didn't really pull it off, and we didn't run into any of the decks to where it's particularly good. But I assure you, these cards are spectacular. They work very well together. They take an extremely small portion of your deck to do, and are just ultra, ultra powerful. And so if you're able to even assemble a portion of these, can be extremely good. You're going to want caretakers, you're going to want collectors, regardless of how this pans out. And if you do get the bigger numbers of them like we did here, where we have 2 caretakers, 2 collectors, the Hapless Aristocrat becomes extremely important. He's just an incredibly good early game unit, and that he can come down and do something. The Spiderling will still be around to sacrifice to our caretaker. It gets kind of awkward, if we have to start sacrificing our better units like Onlookers and Solari Soldiers. Sacrifice a unit and have nothing on the board gets tough to do with the caretaker, but the aristocrat plays to that extremely well. Oh, hang on. And then on the flip side of that, if we're trying to pull off the Nightfalls, the aristocrat plays well there. Also plays well there since he only costs 1 mana. So he's kind of the backbone to a lot of the things going on here. Generally, whenever we're putting together the Diana form of this deck, we do want a whole bunch of Stygian Onlookers. That's the only real downside of what came together with this deck. I usually like to have like 4 or 5 of these if possible. But filling in with the Duskbringer and the Warden's Prey and stuff, it's not as good, but it's fine. That's kind of just the big thing that I feel like we're really missing in this deck is if we had 2 more of these, and then could cut out something more on the expensive side, I'd be pretty happy with it. But nonetheless, to kind of like wrap up with Diana here, we touched on it a bit in the draft phase. She only has 1s, 2s, and 3s in her deck, and so you really want to be taking advantage of that. So the next step is, okay, I've got all these 1s and 2s and 3s in my deck. How do I take advantage of that further? The further part of that is you really don't want anything expensive in your deck. You're happy with 1 Vengeance. If we could trade this Rasa and this Rekindler for a just for the 1-drop dogs, I'd be super stoked about it, because you're able to get so much top end out of Lunari Priestess, out of Solari Priestess. It's so easy to close out games with Neverglade Collector, and you could see the work that just having 1 Eclipse Dragon does. That's all that we're really looking for as far as top end goes. These Diana decks don't have trouble spending mana. If we have mana to spend with Guiding Touch, we have mana to spend on Pale Cascades. We're really looking to just flood the board and then win a couple pivotal combats with a Pale Cascade. Or wrap up a combat with an Unspeakable Horror and get another unit out of it. This deck just really doesn't need a whole lot of expensive cards in it. Really happy with how this top end came out. Maybe we shouldn't have taken this Nocturne, but this was an extremely good Nocturne. But just really watch your curve here, and then note that, the things that will bring you down are having too much top end. So you're really just looking for like 1 Vengeance. If you have like 1 Vengeance, 1 Sunburst, fine. That's not a huge deal. But the bigger thing to watch out for is having too much expensive units. This Rekindler and this Rasa, like I said, could go. The Maokai Nocturne could be a little bit cheaper, and then you really just want to be getting your expensive stuff out of Lunaria Priestess, Solari Priestess. And so there you have it. I think it was a pretty good run, even though we got caught at 4 wins there. Let me see if we have anything in the rewards front. It doesn't look like we do. It looks like we've finished up all of the rewards road. We finished up the KDA event. We already opened our weekly chest, and that was round one of our expedition this week. So that's going to do it for us today. Hope you guys enjoyed the run. You learned a little bit something on how to Nightfall and had a good time. This is Free to Play Bust, and we thank you for being here.